Did you know 80% of minority entrepreneurs' businesses fail within the first 18 months, often due to systemic barriers like lack of access to funding, limited mentorship opportunities, and structural inequalities? However, these numbers don't tell the full story. By addressing these myths and understanding the facts, we can unlock real opportunities for success and resilience in our communities. Let's explore the truth behind the numbers and how we can collectively support Black and minority business owners. It's time to change the narrative.
What inspired you to start your own business, and what challenges have you faced along the way?
What inspired me to start my cheesecake business? Number one, I really, really like cheesecake. But I think the overall inspiration was me going through things. It was a stress reliever. I'm a natural creative. I do music as well, but like the cheesecake was a way for me to start with a blank canvas and create something new. And once one person had it, it just kind of went from there. Struggles is just business in general, especially anybody understand food business. It's hard, so it's been several setbacks, trying to get into a kitchen that was consistent, customer base and growing, and funding, funding, knowledge, a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of obstacles.
Okay, so who taught you how to make cheesecake? Who taught you how to cook? Because, the thing about these cheesecakes is like someone takes a bite and they want more. And then somebody else hears about it. And it's a big thing.
Yeah.
And so I would say since moving to Georgia and hearing about a cheesecake factory, this has been the most talked about cheesecake outside of the Cheesecake Factory.
I appreciate
So who taught you, man? Who taught you?
I grew up around the older people. So my grandmother on my dad's side was the first person to put me in the kitchen. First thing I made was rice pudding. It was rice pudding. And I just kind of took a liking to it from there. And then I spent some time with my great grandmother, my mother's side, and she was the cook. That's where I got my sweet potato pie recipe. Don't tell nobody. But yeah, other than that, it was just me. Again, I really like cheesecake. It was just finding a recipe that I could build off of. And I mean, this recipe that we have in front of us now is 10 years in the making. So
As a business owner, how can it be easier for you to get started? What do you think that would have been helpful to like really get you off the ground?
information, right? We live in the age of the internet, right? But if you don't know what to look for, it's hard to get the information that you need to get started. So a lot of times, like I would say out of the 10 years that I've been doing this, I've been hustling 9 of the years. I just started understanding business last year. One of the most pivotal things for me, and I feel like it's important for any entrepreneur, is to find a mentor. Get somebody who's made the mistakes, who's dealt with the successes and the failures, so that you don't have to deal with the cost of the failures. People tend to not want to pay a mentor, but the price you pay for not having somebody that can tell you exactly what to do, where to go, it outweighs the price you would pay for a mentor. So that would be like, if I had to do it all over again, the first thing I would do is find a mentor, pay them to teach me what I need to know, and then use my ideas, my passion and everything to grow the business to, what you see today.
Okay, so outside of having a mentor, we have like the Athens Black Market where you do pop-ups. Talk about how some of those pop-up markets could possibly help to advance business, especially if like local governments gave us more opportunities and
Right.
spaces for these pop-up markets. How have pop-up markets benefited your business?
That's been the entire growth of the business, especially something like a niche pop-up market. So you talked about the Athens Black Market, right? If you don't have a name, right, and you are a Black-owned business, you need to figure out how to get there, ultimately, because that's how you're gonna, especially if you have a product, right? Services might be a little different, but if you have a product, you wanna get the product in front of people because people have to trust someone in order to make a purchase, right? And if no one ever heard about my cheesecakes, right? But I showed up at the Athens Black Market, I have a group of people there who don't know me, I don't know them, but they trust Athens Black Market, right? So now I have the potential to grow my audience based on an event that was already put in place. You didn't have to do any work. Only thing I have to do is pay the vendor fee, come out. You got to have pop-up shops. Literally, that's been from here to Columbus, Savannah, Albany, Georgia. I am known based off of a pop-up shop method.
So, what has been one of the most rewarding moments in your entrepreneurial journey? Because you've been doing this for, you said 10 or 13? 10,
Closer to 12 years now.
12 years?
Yeah.
What has been one of those moments where where you said to yourself, I can do this? Like this can work for me.
The moment I got a mentor, it was that moment. And then from there, I would say within the first month of having a mentor, I got in the kitchen. I had been struggling, when I say years, like the business got shut down a couple times just because I didn't have a commercial space to produce in. And I didn't know how to get there without paying out $5,000 and $6,000 because that's what they're asking for a commercial production space. I didn't know how to get there. I'm trying to do the research and I can't find any answers. So the most rewarding thing for me was actually getting into a space where I know I have a long-term lease and I can continue to supply the public with the product that they want. That's been the most rewarding.
What is the favorite that people love to buy when it comes to your cheesecake?
All right.
What are the top 3?
All right. Okay. I'm glad you said 3 because the number 1 spot is occupied by 2 different cheesecakes. That's going to be the strawberry shortcake and the banana pudding cheesecake. Those are technically number 1. They're literally neck and neck. And so number 2 is going to be our red velvet cheesecake. It's one of the classic cheesecakes that you can combine cake and cheesecake with. So it's really popular. And then Biscoff, which is one of my favorite ones to make.
Okay, what Biscoff?
Biscoff.
Tell
Biscoff
me
is
Biscoff.
all right. So if you haven't flown Delta, that's how I discovered Biscoff. It's this. I think they're made in Belgium or somewhere, but they're these little cookies. I call them like adult graham crackers or adult Teddy Grahams. It is so good. They give you these 2-pack of cookies on Delta. I had a craving for them one day, and I found out that they make them in these. You see here, these big packs like this. They also have a cookie butter. And so I had to put it together. I had to see what it was like to put Biscoff and cheesecake together because I love them both. And so once I put it to the public, I realized I wasn't the only one that liked Biscoff like that.
What advice would you give to an aspiring Black entrepreneur or an entrepreneur in general who may feel discouraged at this moment and trying to figure it out?
It took me over 10 years to get here. That's literally all the encouragement you need. The things that you desire in life, you ought to desire them more than you want to see yourself fail. And that is the motivation that you need to continue. Every day is a slice of success towards the bigger picture of success that you're in. I didn't say it because I'm doing cheesecakes, but it is literally a slice of success towards the whole pie of success that you see. My uncle told me it was like one of those periods where it was slow. I was kind of giving up again. And he's like, you realize that on the days that you don't sell one slice, you're defeating yourself. Like go in, and even if you sell one slice, if you sell one product, one item, it's more than you giving up, not doing anything. And I've taken that. December was a really slow month for a lot of businesses, but I managed to hit my goal and exceed it, like by a large number. And that was just me being motivated to not give up again. People want to see you win. You just got to keep going. You got to keep going. And again, I hate to sound repetitive, but find a mentor. It's worth it.
What is your future plan? Because I know you're working on a food truck. Do you see yourself having a brick and mortar, or where do you see yourself a few years from now?
Right now, we're trying to avoid the brick and mortar, and the only reason is because of overhead costs, right? I do want this to be an expansive brand, so something that's available across the states, right? I don't know how far out that takes me in my vision. I haven't really gotten there yet, but that food truck thing, that's something that I'm set on. We currently have a GoFundMe for raising funds for my own food truck, but I'm willing to do it through just good old hard labor. Like I'm in here typically 12 to 14 hours a day, sometimes a lot longer than that. But as far as other goals, it's just being able to provide opportunities for the people in my community. I want to see a lot of the youth who don't really have opportunities or don't really have anything to do. I want them to see that you can come from a place like Nelly B. That's where I'm from. Nelly B, Spring Valley. I was born on the east side. But you can come from a place like that and you don't have to succumb to the streets, gangs. You don't have to become a rapper. There are things that you can do that was already set inside your heart. If all you got to do is just see somebody do it, you can achieve them. And I want to be that example. That's my biggest goal, though, is just to be an example for that next generation that you can make it regardless of your situation.
Where can people find you? And the GoFundMe mentioned that as well.
All social media platforms, we are Nony's Cheesecakes. So when you type in Nonys, it's going to be the first thing that pops up. You're going to see the little strawberry or either one of the slices of our cheesecakes. And on any of those platforms, once you tap on the links, it's going to have the website. Some of them have the DoorDash link, but it also has the GoFundMe. For everybody watching this interview, I want you to understand that there is a community out there behind you. Go look for that community, right? Once you find that community, pour into that community. And I guarantee you, the way that that community pours back into you, you won't be able to outdo them. You won't be able to. I promise you.
Being an entrepreneur can be a difficult yet an inspiring journey, and I know that it's not for everyone. But if you desire to own your own business, I want to encourage you to never give up on your dreams. Never give up on your dreams, because through perseverance and commitment, you can turn your dreams into reality. And for everyone else that is watching this video wondering, what can I do? What can I do to help a Black or minority business owner? Shop Black. Spend your dollars with Black minority-owned business owners, and that includes women, because there's a lot of women out here that needs your support, and we fall under the minority umbrella. Did you know that? Yes, we do. Remember, it is time to change the narrative, and you can help us do that by supporting Black and minority business owners.